Three British men plead guilty to preparing for terrorism acts overseas at the Old Bailey. This is BBC News. The headlines at 7 o'clock. Three British men plead guilty to preparing for terrorism acts overseas at the Old Bailey.
Before I was practicing, I used to be in the police, Metropolitan Police.
One of them is a former police community support officer, another a Muslim convert from Dorset. Good evening. Three British men have pleaded guilty to preparing acts of terrorism. One of the men used to be a police community support officer, and another, the son of a teacher in Dorset, was a recent convert to Islam when the offences took place. As our Home Affairs correspondent Matt Protégé now reports, the case has raised further concerns about the radicalisation of young Muslims.
I used to be in the police, Metropolitan Police.
This is Jahangir Alam, once a police community support officer, now a convicted terrorist. Today he admitted preparing for acts of terrorism by travelling to Pakistan for training.
They say Salam alaikum, it means peace be upon you.
His co-defendant was Richard Dart, a white Muslim convert. He too pleaded guilty. They were arrested in police raids last July. The door to Alam's house was blown off its hinges. He lived in the shadow of the Olympic Park in East London and was taken into custody weeks before the Games. These men were unlikely would-be terrorists. One of them used to help police the streets of London, and the other is from a seaside town in Dorset. Ordinary men seduced by a dangerous ideology.
You foolish people risk your life for these degenerate rulers.
Richard Dart's path to extremism was captured on camera 2 years ago by his own stepbrother. It became a BBC documentary which tried to make sense of how a young man from Weymouth became a radical Muslim by the name of Salahuddin.
There is no one worthy of worship.
It showed Dart being converted to Islam by Anjem Choudary, a notorious extremist preacher whose various Islamic groups have in the past been banned by the government. It's not known who pushed Richard Dart towards terrorism, but Anjem Choudary says it wasn't him.
I have a responsibility towards my Muslim, brothers and sisters, but that does not mean that we're training anyone. We're not sending anyone abroad to fight. We don't have any kind of military colleges where people are learning how to make bombs. If someone is doing anything like that, and I don't think that these individuals, Salahuddin and Jahangir, are, by the way, then they're doing it, behind the scenes.
Evidence showed the defendants discussed targeting Wootton Bassett, the Wiltshire town where residents paid their respects to returning soldiers. But there was no word of that in court today. A third defendant, Imran Mahmood, spent a year in Pakistan and is thought to have fought in Afghanistan. But the full details of what these men planned won't emerge until sentencing next month. Matt Protégé, BBC News.